All right, everybody, welcome back to 18 Outdoors. Hey, today I'm at my neighbor's, and as you're gonna see back here on this wall, him and his family have got a history of hunting public land and private, and they've been very successful. So we're gonna look at some of these deer, and then me and him's gonna get ready to go and do some public land deer hunting by access of water. So, and we're gonna film that hunt, or try to film parts of it, you know, us boat riding and stuff like that. And our premise here before the hunt, we're going to talk about some tactics and stuff that he uses, and some that I would think would be benefit, you know, from what I've done. I've not done a whole lot of boat stuff, but I've done a bunch of stuff years ago by hip boot and stuff, you know, using water to get to certain places. So let's look at some of these deer on this wall. First off, it's got a big old turkey right there, but it's got a dang good wall. Some very nice. Up there's a couple of some deer that I don't know about, but areas that I hunt some. And one cool thing is we actually been camping beside each other for about 10-12 years. Look at that big old wide sucker up there. But a very good representative of the stuff that could happen. So guy's name is Jonathon King. Again, is my neighbor, like 3 houses down. And so Jonathan's been our neighbor for about 6-7 years, you know, so we knew him a lot longer than that before he moved. It's just coincidence, the girl he was dating was right down the road from us, and they got married. So, and he just moved in. They just combined all the resources and moved into her house that she'd already bought. So, but I mean, some very good deer. So, and that's part of the enjoyment, you know. He's got a nice little shop set up here. Got some mobile hunting equipment there. The old Summit and some XOP stuff. So we're gonna get set up and talk about some things that we're gonna look for while we're doing this hunt, and some of his tactics, because he's been doing it for years. He's had a boat for years. Him and his dad has done a bunch of it. So we're gonna get set up and talk to him, and we'll just hang on a second. Oh, look at that big old buck right there. Barber County. He's pretty sure his grandpa killed that on Barber Wildlife Man, 1965. Well, back in them days, I like varnishing them horns, but that's a big old buck. All right, everybody, got Jonathon King here. We're fixing to get ready to go public land hunting by water access. He's got a nice boat, and I'll show you that video as when we get to the boat ramp and take off. But so his strategy and kind of our strategy, he's already, like we've looked at the map, we've got 2 little pinch points we picked out. But the biggest thing about, say, water and creek systems, especially bigger ones, you can use the water as an edge, as a pinch, kind of, right? So, yeah. So, and a lot of your water, river system, big creek system, is going to have also other creeks running into them. Then after that, so we're going on a river system, and the private land butts into the public land, and they got crop fields, you know, wood lots, you know, hedgerows and stuff like that. So when you're looking at a map, you can kind of play that into your strategy. Also, you can just get the boat and drive the boat down the water close to the bank and look for tracks, you know, because they'll swim some for getting pressured or going to certain crop areas, or, you know, like especially a big buck, sometimes he'll swim just to be safe, just, you know, just to get somewhere where people ain't gonna bother him. So as if you want to do public land access by water, you know, by kayak, boat, you know, canoe, however it is you want to do it, kind of think about it. It's a little bit easier to find the funnels because the ground is kind of flatter, especially where we're going, and it's easier to find crop edges, you know, field edges. So we're going to talk to Jonathon about it a little bit. So you've been doing it for a while. What makes you pick out a spot? And so I'm going to hunt right here.
Pinch points has always been what I like to look for. Now, as the water drops, it takes a lot of that away. Just go in there and look for, I like to see deer. So when I start seeing deer in an area, I'll focus on that. And then it's like that time over trips I go in, you start, you know, less deer, maybe I'll move areas and relocate, refine, you know, find them where they move to. And they do that. Pressure will push them deer deeper in the swamps and you got to change. But next to the rivers, creeks, always good edge. And anywhere you look on the bank, you're going to find tracks anywhere you look. So you can't just go off of tracks alone, because there's everywhere you look, you see them. You got to see the deer, and most time you'll find a small group, and there may be a shooter in there, just kind of following around and hoping everything works out.
One thing I kind of noticed, like, is on these edges, some of your thicker habitat is right by the water.
Yes.
So do you think about that when you're going in, and try not to get too far from that thick by the water, where like you can, like you hear a lot of people say, well, I could see my boat after I killed a deer. So them thick edges close to the water, you keep that in mind as you're doing that too?
On a lot of the spots, yes. Deer will travel that. I've seen a lot of deer travel right on the banks. If they're not traveling through the banks or in that thicket, they'll be 50, 60 yards out in a mud flat.
Wow.
That never,
wide open stuff.
Wide open, or even in the fields when I push in towards the field. Most times it's the way it is. A group of deer or a buck, a nice buck, mature buck, he is going down the center of the field, and he's not worried about anything. So, but then tying that into where he's entering the woods, so the next hunt you try to take that into account, you know, and you look, and of course here comes the deer and walking down the field. Well, guess, you know, they cut left, you know, they're always a step ahead, it seems like at times. And
I wonder if that is, like that area that we're talking about is archery only, so they know that they're safe when they get out in the field quick. You know,
I think so. I believe so. They're some of the things I've seen them do. Swim, you talk about swimming in creeks, that water means nothing to them deer. I've seen them swim it just across it, because when they got across it, they just, you know, go back to feeding or just walking. I've rattled bucks in that swam a big reservoir, swam right to me, and when I first saw it, the deer swimming, it took me a minute to realize what I was looking at, and it was a buck, and he swam across, hopped over on the bank, shot him, got that deer. That water means nothing to them deer up there, but you can use it as an edge, but they will cross it and they won't think twice about it.
Well, also one thing about traveling that water is, to me, is like you're going and you want to check spots how the wind is blowing. When you're in the water and you got public is on both sides of the water, it's pretty easy to find places to hunt, because it's easy to figure the wind out,
yes,
you know, versus having hills and stuff like that. So that part of I think is interesting. And another thing is I would think about, it's like if you got an area where you know a big buck is at, if you got a creek system or an oxbow system or something like that, you can kind of maneuver to get the wind kind of to your favor in some of them places like that, I would think.
Yeah, you know, the points, the fingers that run out in the water, it's easy to get away with a bad wind. I guess if certain places I like to go, if it's a bad wind for that area, you know, just come on around and maybe get on a different side of it. It may not be the right side that they tend to travel, but you know, that's just part of it.
Still a little bit of guesswork.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Do you see any bedding tendencies for like bucks as far as what they prefer to bed in and that?
Most, you'll find it in the thickets, obviously, and then like the fingers. Fingers always seem to be out there, be good. A lot of times at scouting trips, I've jumped a lot of bucks, a lot of big bucks, right on the edge of the field, 5 yards thicket, you know, just right there on the edge of the field. You'll jump them every time on the field. So I feel like the buck is bedded on the field. He sees everything coming across the field, and he sees anything coming up through the water, which behind him may be water all the way up to the bank, depending on what part, if he's on the main channel or not. But if the water goes down, then you know he may have 50, 60 yards of mud flat. Again, you're not going to sneak up on that deer. You're not going to get within 100 yards of that deer, and, you know, depending on what he's got himself in a position to see. And that's been tough. You know, deer like that's been tough. You got to figure out what's his pattern. And a lot of times deer up there, it seems like there's not a pattern. And every time you think you figured it out, they make, and you can find their beddings. That's easy. That's easy to find. They may bounce around, but you'll find that. So you set up, deer come through just like perfect, but it never fails. They do something different when you think you got it figured out.
One thing, they got so many different crop fields and stuff, they can just jump around, eat here for a while, move, you know. Then they got the mixed bedding, like you say. So, and the water changes, like some of them pockets, you know, the fluctuation of the water, or they move water for the duck hunt and stuff, or whatever. So they create some old lily pad flats and then big old, you know, taller stuff. They can just slip in the bed and then, like I say, just be hid. It kind of changes, you know, from as the season goes. So that's interesting.
Yeah, that's a different. Up there is totally different from hunting hardwoods that I'm used to hunting.
Cattail flats, what I'm trying to think of. Yeah, cattail.
They'll bed right down in the middle of them stuff. And again, you never know what the deer's going to do. There's a standing corn. Some places there's still standing corn they'll leave. Soybeans, and of course even when they harvest the corn, there's still always leftover corn. So it's you never know.
Kind of, you know, funny also is like people are using this fishing and all that boats, so they're used to boat traffic. Also, for people that are fishing, going down the bank fishing and stuff, so they're used to smelling people, to me, to an extent. So they, you know, so you don't have to really worry about that part of the scent thing until you get too close to them, I guess. That's what gives you a benefit, where you can move around, you know, skirt around them and go up, look at different creek systems or oxbow system, and kind of maneuver, try to get the wind to your advantage. Is you don't have to, you know, like say if you're walking through the woods, you're worried about the wind blowing, where they're used to boats going by and, you know, blowing scent to them, or however they're set up to understand that and to be aware of it, I guess. So
every day, so
you can kind of makes that a little bit different than woods hunting, or strict woods hunting, or walking through the woods access. So it's cool process, cool thing we're going to do. So, and you say we got a pretty good shot at least seeing deer. You almost said like you can almost guarantee a kill.
We will see deer. I got a good feeling we will see the deer. Again, being in range, I can't guarantee that.
I do know. I've hunted this place a lot, you know, years ago, and there's deer like crazy. And there's no, you know, it's archery only, with exception outside. You know, you got private land. But that private land is also the benefit, because a lot of the people don't hunt that own this private land. So it just continues, the deer number just stay high, and it's crazy how many deer it is. And there's some big ones around there too. So.
It's not uncommon to see, you know, 5 to 10 deer in a small herd. I would call it a herd, you know, traveling. It's unlike anything else. I've seen deer like that at times in the forest and around, but hunting up there, that land it's like heaven on earth. You know, it's something special. So it is. It's a different type of environment. Yeah. That's for sure.
We can go have some fun. That's for dang sure.
That's it. That's it.
Anyway, so y'all see, we'll video what we can, and see after that, and that'll probably end after that hunt, or maybe if one's hanging or whatever. So anyway, we appreciate y'all watching. Again, Jonathan, we're going to do an adventure, y'all, getting close to me and my brother going Kansas hunting. So, and this daggone weather's been up and down right now. So 80 degrees, 40 degrees. So it's kind of trying to get a good fall pattern going. It's still a little tough. We still need a couple of good frosts to kind of get the acorns into a good dropping pattern for some of the hunts. So anyway, we're just going to have fun. Appreciate y'all watching. Please like, subscribe, and we'll see you. Intro first. Everybody, welcome back to 18 Outdoors. Hey, going to a different piece of public today. The guy said we're going deer killing.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. Me and Jonathon King, one of the best places in Alabama to kill a deer too, also, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to try it. So we're in a boat, a nice rig. So Jonathan's actually my neighbor, and we hunt the same general areas quite a bit for the last 10 years, probably pushing it. No, it might be longer than that.
About 13 years.
About 13 years. Boy, time flies. Anyway.
2012, 2011.
He lives like 3 houses down from me. I mean, pretty neat. So anyway, we're going deer killing, he said. He said, don't matter, shoot whatever. So I'm not going to shoot a buck unless it's at least a 8-point. So anyway, y'all can deduct where we're at right now. This is a cool place, pretty place. So anyway, we're fixing to roll. He's ready to go. So we'll see y'all. I don't know if y'all hear me or not, but I'm set up on a pinch point right by the water. So I always try to keep that in mind when I'm hunting a place like this, that water is a edge. So, or basically a transition area. So always use that as your funnel point, or one of your funnel points. So that's what I'm set up on. So we're gonna see what happens. Hey everybody, thank y'all for watching the videos. Well, again, we appreciate y'all's support. If you haven't liked, please like and subscribe. And if you don't care, if you haven't got one of our books, check out Amazon and get a book. Also, we got a link on there where you can, on our YouTube channel, where you can go on. We got a little store set up, like if you're interested in any kind of merchandise, shirts and stuff, you can check that out. And we really appreciate anything like that. So again, we appreciate y'all's support. Keep watching. We're gonna keep trying to share the outdoors and how we do some things, and try to help everybody that we can enjoy the outdoors. And we do this for just basically because of the environment and the community that's involved and built around hunting. So again, we appreciate y'all. Like, share, and we'll see y'all again.